A newly unearthed video featuring NBA star Jimmy Butler in a fiery confrontation has taken social media by storm, stirring strong reactions from both fans and sports pundits. Filmed during a recent public outing, the clip shows Butler clearly upset, engaged in a heated altercation. What sparked this tense encounter? Could it reflect growing frustration for the six-time All-Star? And what implications might this incident have on his fresh start with the Warriors? Let's delve into the details. The viral confrontation video. A clip of Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler embroiled in a heated dispute at Miami's Reserve Paddle Club went viral on Friday, January 25, 2025, shining an intense spotlight on the All-Star forward amid his current suspension from the team. Posted by the social media account OnlyAndAid, the video shows Butler, dressed in a green jacket, visibly agitated while involved in the argument at the upscale facility. At one point, someone is seen restraining Butler as he directs sharp, forceful words toward another individual. Though the reason behind the disagreement remains unknown, the tense atmosphere is unmistakable, with Butler continuing to gesture emphatically and speak passionately even after being held back. The incident took place while the Miami Heat were in Brooklyn gearing up to face the Nets, a game that proceeded without Jimmy Butler, who was benched due to disciplinary actions. A 24-second video, recorded by a bystander, captures the confrontation midway. Butler is seen standing near a paddle court, a hybrid sport that blends aspects of tennis and squash and has become increasingly popular among celebrities and athletes. Behind him, spectators and staff at the club observe the interaction. A man dressed in a black shirt steps in between Butler and another individual, placing a hand on Butler's chest to stop him from approaching further. Though held back, Butler leans forward and continues speaking in an assertive manner. His body language and tone convey irritation, but apart from the man intervening, no physical contact occurs. Following a brief verbal exchange, the tension subsides and Butler departs from the scene, engaging in conversation with others nearby. The Reserve Paddle Club, renowned for organizing exclusive events, was hosting a tournament with a $1.7 million prize at stake, featuring notable figures like MLB icon Derek Jeter and comedian Andrew Schultz as team captains. Butler's attendance at the event, instead of being with his team, sparked backlash due to his absence stemming from disciplinary suspension. The video attracted attention not just for the confrontation itself, but also for its unfortunate timing. Merely 2 days earlier, the Heat had announced a 2-game suspension for Butler, citing a repeated pattern of violating team policies, one of which included missing a flight to Milwaukee. In their official statement, the organization stressed that his behavior had been both insubordinate and harmful to the team's cohesion, framing the suspension as a direct response to ongoing rule breaches. Butler's appearance at the Paddle Club during his suspension added fuel to the fire, as it gave the impression that he was prioritizing personal recreation over taking responsibility. Detractors were quick to highlight the irony of him engaging in a public sporting activity while being benched for misconduct. The incident at the Reserve Paddle Club also brought attention to Butler's off-court hobbies. A known advocate for padel, he has shown significant enthusiasm for the sport, even going so far as to invest in it. However, this particular instance clashed with the Heat's disciplinary actions. Social media reactions to the footage came fast and were deeply polarized. Many fans criticized Butler for what they interpreted as a blatant lack of regard for his team's challenges. One comment read, "How are you going to quit on the team and still be cruising around the city like it's nothing LOL?" While another accused him of defiance, calling him a quitter outright. Some people criticized those at the club for recording the incident instead of trying to calm things down, while others came to Butler's defense, insisting that athletes are entitled to privacy and freedom from public judgment in personal matters. A tweet reading, "Fans think just because you earn a few million for shooting a basketball, it means they no longer need to treat you like a human being," triggered a debate over the line between public criticism and respecting personal boundaries. The footage also reignited speculation about Butler's future with the Heat, fueling doubts over whether the strained relationship between the team and the star player could be mended. Now in his 6th season with Miami, Butler's performance has dropped to an average of 17.0 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game, numbers that fall below his usual standards. Despite maintaining respectable efficiency at 54% from the floor and 36.1% from beyond the arc, his contributions on the court have been overshadowed by controversies off the court. The Heat, sitting at 21-22 and 9th in the Eastern Conference, have struggled to maintain momentum, partially due to Butler's missed games and the turmoil surrounding his behavior. Tensions between Butler and the franchise seem to have escalated, with reports indicating he has privately reiterated a desire to be traded. This incident is not an anomaly for Butler, as he has a reputation for behavioral issues that heighten apprehension about his future. A pattern of conflict. Jimmy Butler's NBA career has been characterized not only by his intense dedication and elite skills, but also by several confrontations and disputes that have defined his tenures with all of his previous teams. From his beginnings with the Chicago Bulls to his more recent move to the Golden State Warriors, Butler's fiery demeanor and insistence on accountability have often put him at odds with teammates, coaches, and executives. Jimmy Butler entered the NBA in 2011 as the 30th overall draft pick, joining a Bulls squad anchored by Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. Initially filling a supporting role, Butler's relentless dedication quickly earned him a spot in the starting lineup. By his 4th year, Butler had not only become an all-star, but also the centerpiece of the franchise. However, this ascent came with mounting conflicts. One of his first major disputes occurred in December 2015, when Butler openly criticized head coach Fred Hoiberg following a loss. He called out Hoiberg for not enforcing discipline, stating, "Everyone needs to be held accountable. Every player has to fulfill their responsibilities." This focus on accountability defined Butler's career, often leading to clashes with those whose effort he felt didn't match his. As Butler took on a leadership role, tensions rose with Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. The changing team dynamics caused by Butler's emergence led to friction with some of the Bulls' established veterans. By the 2016-17 season, tensions within the team had reached their peak. In a pivotal team meeting, Rajon Rondo stood up for the younger players, pushing back against criticism from Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade. This confrontation led to all three players receiving fines after their remarks became public knowledge. Acknowledging the fractured dynamics in the locker room, the Bulls decided to trade Butler to the Minnesota Timberwolves in June 2017, marking the end of his 6-year stint in Chicago. Butler's time with the Timberwolves proved brief but eventful. Reuniting with Tom Thibodeau, his former coach from Chicago, Butler helped lead the Timberwolves to their first playoff berth in 14 years during the 2017-18 season. However, frustrations about the perceived lack of effort from teammates Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins soon began to surface. By July 2018, reports emerged that Butler was dissatisfied with the team's lack of competitiveness. This boiled over in September when he formally requested a trade. The situation culminated in October during a now-famous practice session. After missing the opening 2 weeks of training camp, Butler returned and, alongside the reserve players, dominated the starters in a commanding display. There are reports that Jimmy Butler shouted at general manager Scott Layden, proclaiming, "You ****ing need me, Scott. You can't win without me." This outburst underscored Butler's growing dissatisfaction with the direction of the team and his perception that Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins lacked the competitive edge needed for success. Despite the tension, Butler began the 2018-19 season playing for the Timberwolves, but was shipped off to the Philadelphia 76ers in November after appearing in just 10 games. His stint in Minnesota became synonymous with his difficulty in meshing with the younger players on the roster, reinforcing his image as a perfectionist unafraid to challenge those he believed weren't meeting his standards. When Butler arrived in Philadelphia, the team, led by Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, was eyeing a championship, and Butler was seen as the final piece to the puzzle. Yet his time with the Sixers proved to be tumultuous as well, marked by notable disagreements with head coach Brett Brown. Just 2 months into his tenure, during a January 2019 film session, Butler publicly and harshly questioned Brown's offensive schemes and his own fit within them. His dissatisfaction with the coaching strategy became a recurring issue, which he did not hesitate to express openly during media interactions. Amid underlying tensions, Butler was pivotal in the 76ers' playoff journey, particularly in an electrifying second-round matchup against the Toronto Raptors, who went on to win the championship. Nevertheless, the 76ers opted not to offer Butler a max deal during the offseason, instead prioritizing the re-signing of Tobias Harris. This move reportedly enraged Butler, who famously expressed his disbelief, saying, "Tobias Harris over me?" Following his victory over the 76ers in the playoffs as a member of the Miami Heat, Butler's stint in Philadelphia concluded with a sign-in trade deal that sent him to Miami, where he sought an environment better suited to his needs. Butler's arrival with the Heat in 2019 seemed like an ideal fit. The team's culture, defined by discipline and accountability, mirrored Butler's own mindset, and he quickly emerged as their leader. During his debut season, Butler led the Heat to the NBA Finals within the 2020 bubble, earning considerable acclaim for his performances. Over the subsequent seasons, Butler became synonymous with the nickname Playoff Jimmy, known for consistently stepping up in critical moments and guiding the Heat to another Finals appearance in 2023. However, his fiery demeanor also led to moments of friction in Miami. One notable incident occurred in March 2022, when Butler had a heated sideline confrontation with teammate Udonis Haslem and head coach Erik Spoelstra, who angrily smashed a clipboard during the exchange. The situation underscored the intense, high-stakes atmosphere that Butler thrives in, yet also revealed the toll it can take on personal and professional connections. By the 2024-25 season, tensions between Butler and the Miami Heat had noticeably worsened. Persistent injuries kept Butler sidelined for a substantial part of the season, and his outspoken remarks about the team's performance during his absence drew sharp criticism from team president Pat Riley. In December 2024, rumors began circulating that the Heat were willing to explore trading Butler. By January 2025, Butler himself had formally requested a trade, citing that he no longer found joy in playing basketball. The final stretch of his time in Miami was marked by controversies, including multiple suspensions and clashes with the team. In January 2025 alone, Butler was suspended 3 times, one instance being the result of storming out of practice after being informed he'd be coming off the bench. Ultimately, the Heat traded Butler to the Golden State Warriors on February 5, 2025, closing the chapter on his 6 years in Miami. The trade to the Warriors represented a fresh start in Butler's journey. Though Butler initially expressed hesitation toward signing an extension with Golden State, he soon agreed to a 2-year, $111 million contract following the move. This transition reunited Butler with a championship-contending squad, providing him with an opportunity to chase another title. Jimmy Butler's success story is rooted in sheer determination and relentless effort. He approaches every game with a win-at-all-cost mentality, and when teammates, coaches, or even front office management fail to meet his competitive drive, he's never shied away from calling them out. This fiery nature has earned him immense respect throughout the NBA, but it's also been the catalyst for disagreements and eventual departures from each team he's been part of. However, there's a deeper reason behind his unyielding intensity. Long before the fame, fortune, and accolades, Butler had to fight just to make it through each day, overcoming life on the streets to carve out his path to basketball greatness. His rise to NBA prominence stands as one of the most remarkable and inspiring tales in sports history. From being a homeless teenager to ascending as one of the league's most formidable and highly regarded players, Butler's journey is a testament to resilience, unwavering work ethic, and unshakable self-belief. Life wasn't easy for Butler in the beginning. Born on September 14, 1989, in Houston, Texas, he faced a tough upbringing. His father walked out on the family when Butler was still a baby, leaving his mother, Landa Butler, to raise him on her own. Butler's life took a heartbreaking turn at just 13 years old when his mother forced him out of their home. In a moment that would leave a lasting impact, she told him, "I don't like you. Look at you. You need to leave." With no place to call home, Butler found himself homeless. Over the next few years, he relied on the kindness of friends, staying on their couches and moving between homes. His stays were often brief, lasting only a few weeks before he had to search for another place to rest. Despite the constant upheaval, Butler was determined to create a brighter future. He discovered comfort and a sense of identity through basketball, a sport that gave him direction and motivation. Things began to change for Butler during his senior year at Tomball High School, where he formed a strong bond with fellow athlete Jordan Leslie. The two formed a close connection through their shared passion for basketball, and Butler frequently spent the night at Leslie's house, where they would play video games together. It was during these visits that Leslie's mother, Michelle Lambert, became aware of Butler's circumstances and chose to welcome him into her home. As a mother of 7, Michelle opened her doors to Butler, offering him the stability he had been missing. She established clear expectations for him, such as keeping up with his schoolwork and adhering to a curfew. For the first time in years, Butler had a place he could truly call home. The Lambert family provided him with a crucial support system, and Butler often credits them for helping him stay focused on his aspirations. "They brought me into their family, not because of basketball," Butler once shared. "She just had such a kind heart. She did things like that, and I couldn't even believe it." Although Butler was undeniably talented, he did not attract much attention from college recruiters during his high school years. A significant factor was his absence from the AAU basketball circuit, which left him largely unnoticed by collegiate scouts. Following his high school graduation, Butler decided to attend Tyler Junior College in Texas, where he quickly established himself as a standout player. As a freshman, he averaged 18.1 points per game and began drawing interest from various Division I schools. By 2008, Butler made the pivotal choice to transfer to Marquette University, a move that ultimately reshaped his path in basketball. However, adjusting to the demands of Division I competition proved challenging. Under Marquette's head coach, Buzz Williams, Butler faced rigorous tests of his resilience and dedication. Practices were grueling, and there were moments when Butler felt overwhelmed, admitting he frequently contemplated walking away. Assistant coach Dale Laird recalled Butler approaching him post-practice, saying, "Coach, I'm done." Laird would respond, "Jimmy, just show up again tomorrow. Come back the next day." Over time, Butler confronted the obstacles head-on and transformed into one of Marquette's most determined athletes. By the time he reached his senior season, he was putting up an average of 15.7 points per game and was recognized with all Big East honors. Known for sinking critical shots and stepping up in pivotal situations, Butler built a reputation as a player who excelled under pressure. Yet, despite his accomplishments at Marquette, Butler wasn't seen as a high-tier prospect for the 2011 NBA draft. The Chicago Bulls picked him 30th overall, making him the final selection of the first round. Many questioned whether he had what it took to succeed at the next level. In his early seasons with the Bulls, Butler spent most of his time on the bench behind well-established players like Derrick Rose, Luol Deng, and Joakim Noah. Nonetheless, his relentless dedication and standout defensive skills soon won over his coach's confidence. He gained recognition for his tireless work ethic and readiness to handle the gritty aspects of the game. During the 2013-14 season, Butler had his breakthrough, posting an average of 13.1 points per contest while cementing his reputation as one of the premier perimeter defenders in the league. The following year, he was honored with the NBA's Most Improved Player award and earned a spot in his first All-Star game. Butler's journey from an overlooked draft pick to an NBA standout exemplified his unwavering persistence and determination. His tenure with the Bulls became a time of significant growth, not only in his skills on the court, but also in his leadership. Yet, his ascent to stardom was accompanied by turbulence. As he took on the role of the team's primary player, conflicts began to emerge with veteran teammates like Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah. Butler's unyielding drive and high standards sometimes clashed with the more relaxed approach of others on the squad. In December 2015, Butler openly called out coach Fred Hoiberg, urging him to enforce greater accountability after a tough loss. This statement was a direct challenge to Hoiberg's leadership style and highlighted Butler's no-compromise attitude. Though contentious at times, Butler's stint in Chicago was pivotal in molding his identity as a player. It was there that he honed his leadership skills, often by making tough, unpopular choices. By the time he was sent to the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2017, Butler had cemented his status as one of the NBA's elite two-way players. His arrival in Minnesota was heralded as the dawn of a new chapter for the franchise. With rising stars Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins by his side, Butler was anticipated to steer the Timberwolves into playoff contention, and initially he delivered. In his debut season with the team, Butler guided Minnesota to its first postseason berth in 14 years. However, behind the scenes, tensions were brewing. Frustrated by what he perceived as a lack of effort from Towns and Wiggins, Butler took matters into his own hands. During a fiery practice session in October 2018, he sent a message by outplaying the starting lineup while teaming up with the reserves, making it clear to management that the team lacked the drive to succeed without his leadership. This event marked a pivotal shift in Butler's career, cementing his image as someone willing to do whatever it took to win, even at the cost of relationships. Just a month later, Butler was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. Butler wasted no time making his mark in Philadelphia, playing a crucial role in propelling the team on a substantial playoff run. Yet, disagreements with the coaching staff and front office led the 76ers to prioritize Tobias Harris over Butler, ultimately allowing him to leave. His stint in Philadelphia showcased his ability to elevate a team, provided they could match his relentless drive. In 2019, Butler found his ideal fit with the Miami Heat, an organization rooted in discipline and effort. He swiftly assumed the role of team leader, steering them to the NBA Finals in his debut season with standout performances that cemented his legacy. Injuries and occasional conflicts have since accompanied his journey, but his profound influence and competitive spirit have earned him admiration from fans and recognition as a formidable force in the league. Over the years, Butler has faced numerous obstacles both on and off the court, yet he has consistently refused to let hardships define him. Instead, he has turned every setback into motivation to push himself further. "I love what happened to me," Butler once reflected. "It made me who I am. I am thankful for the obstacles I've encountered along the way." Please don't paint him as someone who needs sympathy. So what lies ahead for him? What's next in his journey? Jimmy Butler's move to the Golden State Warriors signals the beginning of a fresh chapter in his remarkable NBA story. Following a dramatic conclusion to his stint with the Miami Heat, Butler now joins a squad with title ambitions, anchored by one of basketball's all-time greats, Stephen Curry. But what does the future hold for Butler? Can he excel in Golden State? Or will his fiery temperament create friction within the Warriors' culture? The Warriors are renowned for their dynamic, fast-paced style of play, focused on constant ball movement and spearheaded by Curry. On the flip side, Butler is more comfortable with a deliberate, isolation-heavy approach, thriving in structured, half-court situations. At first glance, this might appear to be an unconventional pairing. However, Butler's adaptability and high basketball IQ make him an asset to virtually any roster. By concentrating on his core strengths, defense, playmaking, and delivering in critical moments, Butler is expected to adjust seamlessly to the Warriors system. Although he may not take on the role of primary ball handler, he is likely to thrive in pick-and-roll scenarios and as a secondary creator. Furthermore, his capability to defend across multiple positions will strengthen Golden State's defense, which has been inconsistent throughout the season. A key concern regarding Butler's transition lies in how he will integrate into the Warriors' team dynamic. The franchise has cultivated a cohesive culture centered around Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. Butler's intense personality and high standards could either push the squad to another level or introduce friction. Initially, his fiery demeanor might conflict with the Warriors' more relaxed environment, but in due course, his teammates are likely to recognize and respect his leadership. Notably, Draymond Green, who shares Butler's competitive edge, may become an ideal partner, potentially forming a dynamic defensive tandem. Curry's ability to lead will play a pivotal role in easing any potential team tensions, as he has a proven track record of uniting strong-willed players. Meanwhile, Butler has rightfully earned the nickname Playoff Jimmy, thanks to his knack for stepping up when it matters most, exemplified by guiding the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals appearances in the past. With the Warriors vying to secure a playoff spot, they'll lean heavily on Butler to perform under pressure. During the postseason, Butler is expected to excel, producing averages of over 25 points, more than 7 rebounds, and at least 6 assists per contest. His knack for taking control in the fourth quarter will be vital for Golden State, particularly in tightly contested games. Should Curry and Butler establish a strong synergy on the floor, the Warriors could position themselves for a significant playoff push. Butler has committed to Golden State through a 2-year, $111 million extension, which secures him with the franchise until the conclusion of the 2026-27 season. However, considering his history of switching teams, the possibility of Butler seeking a fresh opportunity can't be ruled out if the partnership doesn't yield success. On the other hand, if the Warriors thrive in the postseason and emerge as championship contenders, it's likely Butler will remain with the team for the entirety of his contract. On the other hand, if the team falls short or fails to live up to expectations, Butler might consider pursuing a trade or testing free agency in 2027. His passion for winning will be the ultimate factor in shaping his future decisions. Throughout his career, Butler has exemplified resilience, overcoming numerous obstacles. From experiencing homelessness as a teenager to earning a reputation as one of the NBA's most admired players, Butler's story is nothing short of extraordinary. A strong tenure with the Warriors could further solidify his status as one of the finest two-way players of his era. Should Butler play a pivotal role in bringing a championship to Golden State, it would affirm his place as a surefire Hall of Famer. Even if a title isn't in the cards during his time with the Warriors, his knack for rising to the occasion in crucial moments and his profound influence on the team will ensure his legacy as one of the most impactful players of his time. Now 35 years old and entering the twilight of his career, Butler remains one of the league's top talents. However, his age and history of injuries could pose challenges. In recent seasons, Butler has dealt with significant time off due to injuries, and the Warriors will need to carefully manage his minutes to keep him at his best. The Warriors are expected to manage Butler's playing time during the regular season to ensure he's in top form for the playoffs. However, if injuries occur, Golden State's roster depth will face serious challenges. Players such as Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga will have to rise to the occasion to fill any gaps. Jimmy Butler joining the Golden State Warriors is a bold, high-risk move for both parties. Should Butler successfully adjust to the Warriors' playing style and mesh well with their core team, he could be a critical factor in securing another championship for the franchise. On the other hand, his passionate demeanor might spark conflict, or his advancing age could potentially hinder his performance, potentially leading to an underwhelming outcome. In Golden State, Butler has the potential to thrive, forming a powerful 1-2 punch with Curry and pushing the Warriors back into championship contention. Although challenges are inevitable, Butler's relentless determination and strong leadership qualities will ultimately prove to be a significant asset to the team. Championship or not, Butler's reputation as one of the NBA's most tenacious and driven players is solidified.